There is a strange paradox hidden inside almost every meaningful pursuit. The harder some people chase success, the further success seems to move. The harder they chase love, the more difficult genuine connection becomes. The harder they chase happiness, the more anxious they feel. At first, this makes no sense. We've been taught that wanting something badly is the key to achieving it. That intensity equals progress. That urgency equals importance. But there is a difference between commitment and desperation. Commitment creates disciplined action. Desperation creates emotional pressure. And pressure quietly changes everything. It changes the way you think. It changes the way you speak, the way you make decisions, the way you show up in the world. It even changes how others perceive you. Imagine trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips through your fingers. Life often works the same way. When every decision comes from the fear of losing, you stop seeing clearly. You begin forcing conversations that should unfold naturally. You rush opportunities that require patience. You over-explain. You over-promise. You overthink. You accept situations that don't align with your values simply because you're afraid nothing else will come. And slowly, without realizing it, you start shrinking your standards. Eventually, you're no longer building your future. You're negotiating with your fears. You're reacting instead of creating. You're surviving instead of expanding. This isn't just philosophy. Psychology tells us that when the brain perceives constant scarcity or threat, it shifts into a more reactive state. Your attention narrows, your creativity declines, your ability to evaluate options calmly becomes weaker. You become more impulsive, more defensive, more attached to immediate outcomes. The world hasn't necessarily become smaller, your perception has, and perception shapes reality more than most people realize. Now think about the people who seem grounded under pressure. They still work hard, they still pursue ambitious goals, they still care deeply, but there is something different about them. Their identity isn't dependent on today's result. They don't panic when things don't go their way. They don't collapse when outcomes are delayed. They act with intention instead of urgency. They prepare instead of obsess. They focus instead of scatter. They trust the process enough to keep moving without demanding immediate proof. That is not complacency. That is strength. That is emotional discipline. Many people confuse surrender with giving up. They are not the same. Giving up says, nothing I do matters. Surrender says, I will do everything within my control, and I will stop exhausting myself trying to control everything beyond it. Giving up removes effort. Surrender removes unnecessary tension. There is tremendous freedom in that mindset because your energy is no longer consumed by imaginary battles. It is invested in meaningful action. You become more present, more focused, more effective. The irony is that many of the opportunities people dream about arrive when they have become fully engaged in becoming better rather than constantly worrying about whether success has arrived yet. Not because the universe rewards indifference, but because calm attention leads to better judgment, stronger relationships, clearer communication, and wiser decisions. When you are not desperate, you listen better, you respond better, you choose better, and those small improvements compound over time. If you'd like to go deeper into this topic, grab my book, The Hidden Blueprint, Unlocking the Universal Principles That Shape Your Destiny. The book is now live worldwide. Remember this, your greatest advantage is not urgency, it is inner certainty. Continue learning, continue building, continue showing up, but stop allowing desperation to write your decisions, because the faster you chase what you cannot control, the further it often feels. The moment you anchor yourself in purpose instead of panic, you stop running after life and you begin walking toward it with clarity. And when you walk with clarity, life has a way of meeting you halfway.